You are born in one of the most hostile places on the planet. Antarctica in winter reaches temperatures of minus 65 degrees Celsius, with winds up to 200 kilometers per hour. There is no other vertebrate on Earth that reproduces under these conditions. The emperor penguin did not choose this place by accident. It chose it because no land predator can survive there. The problem is, almost no emperor penguin can either. Before you are even born, your father has already gone 4 months without eating. When the female lays the egg, she immediately leaves, walking up to 100 kilometers back to the ocean to feed because she has not eaten during the mating period. The male remains with the egg balanced on his feet, covered by a fold of skin called a brood pouch, without moving for 65 days in the total darkness of the Antarctic winter. During these 65 days, the male does not eat. He can lose up to 45% of his body weight. He survives only by grouping together with other males in a tight circular formation known as the huddle. In this formation, the penguins at the center stay warm, while those on the edges freeze. They slowly rotate so that no one remains on the outside for too long. The temperature inside the huddle can reach 26 degrees Celsius, while outside it drops to minus 40. If the egg slips off the feet and touches the ice for more than a few seconds, it dies. If the male dies from hunger or cold before the female returns, the egg dies. If a powerful storm breaks apart the huddle, the males on the edges die quickly. All of this happens before you are born. You are born, your father is still alive, which is already statistically remarkable. But he is so weakened that he has only one emergency reserve to feed you, a secretion produced in his esophagus known as penguin milk. It is not milk in the mammalian sense, but a substance rich in protein and fat that the male produces in very limited quantities. It is enough to keep you alive for a few days, no more. If your mother does not return from the ocean within that time, you will starve. She must walk up to 100 kilometers back across the Antarctic ice, carrying a stomach full of partially digested fish that she will regurgitate to feed you. If anything happened to her in the ocean during those 4 months' predation by a leopard seal, illness, or disorientation, you die, and your father, already at his physical limit, will likely die as well. When the mother finally arrives, father and chick recognize each other by their calls within a huddle of tens of thousands of identical penguins. In near total darkness, with the wind drowning out most sounds, the female finds the male and the chick through the specific call each one learned before she left. The system works, but any variation a chick too weak to call or the wind masking the sound at the wrong moment results in permanent separation. You have survived birth. Now begins the phase in which the entire colony acts as a collective nursery, while both parents take turns traveling to the ocean to find food. You remain grouped with other chicks in what is called a creche, a mass of young penguins that huddle together for warmth while the adults are away. The problem with the creche is that it attracts predators. The Antarctic giant petrel, a bird with a wingspan of up to 2 meters, actively hunts penguin chicks. Its tactic is to target isolated chicks on the edges of the group, and distract them with feints, and then attack. A penguin chick just a few weeks old has no effective defense against a giant petrel. The adults present in the colony defend aggressively, but in a group of tens of thousands of chicks, complete protection is impossible. Chick mortality before reaching independence is estimated between 50 and 90%, depending on the year and conditions. In El Niño years, when sea ice retreats and parents must swim much greater distances to fish, mortality can exceed 90% in a single breeding season. 9 out of 10 chicks dying in a single year is not a catastrophe for the species. It is a normal variation within expected conditions. If you survive the creche, you are now between 5 and 6 months old. Your body is replacing the gray down of a chick with your first waterproof adult feathers. Once that coverage is complete, you head to the ocean for the first time, with no training and no adult to teach you. You simply enter the water and start swimming. The leopard seal is waiting. The leopard seal is the second largest predator in Antarctica, after the orca. It can weigh up to 600 kilograms, reach up to 3.5 meters in length, and is an ambush predator specialized in inexperienced young penguins. It positions itself beneath the edge of the ice, where penguins enter the water, and strikes during the transition. The moment when the animal is moving from an environment where it is competent to one where it still does not know what to do. Chicks entering the ocean for the first time face a documented predation rate high enough that researchers describe the first weeks in the ocean as the final survival filter. Those who survive learn quickly. Those who do not, unfortunately, become statistics. If you survive the leopard seal, you will spend the next 5 to 6 years in the ocean, returning to land only once a year to molt. At around 5 or 6 years old, you are ready to reproduce. and the cycle begins again from the start. You will walk up to 100 kilometers back to the colony where you were born. You will compete for a mate in a ritual that involves specific vocalizations and postures. If you find a partner, an egg will be laid, and then the female leaves immediately for the ocean, while the male remains with the egg in the darkness and cold for 65 days without eating. If you are male, you stay with the egg. You lose 45% of your body weight. You endure winds of 200 kilometers per hour. You rotate in the huddle. You wait. And then, maybe your chick is born, and maybe your partner returns in time, and maybe the chick survives the crash. And maybe it is not an El Niño year, and maybe the leopard seal is not waiting at the ice edge on the wrong day. Being born as an emperor penguin is brutal, but those who survive all of this can live up to 20 years. And they repeat the entire cycle every season in the coldest, darkest, and windiest place on Earth because no other animal has been relentless enough to attempt the same.